Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to one of my favorite parts of Slovakia. This is Devin Castle. It's been up there on that hill since the 13th century at the confluence of the Blue Danube and the Morava rivers. But what is it about this site? It's a really unique place. It's got a lot of history over these last 800 years or so, and they've got sheep. But exactly what's gone on here? Like, what is this building from? What happened here? Did Napoleon destroy Devin Castle? It's an amazing place with a sordid history, so join me, Terry Dixon, for an adventure for anyone as we check out the beautiful spot and the sordid history up here on the border of Austria, not far outside of Bratislava, in Slovakia at Devin Castle. So you can take a bus, but we took this wonderful boat up the river because why would you take a bus when you can take a boat? It cost us 25 euros round trip per person to take the boat, but the scenery and the things that you learned about that trip along the Danube. First off, we learned that it took an hour and a half to get up to the castle, but it only took a half an hour to get back. That's how strong the current is along this wild and woolly river coming from Vienna. Along the way, we saw many things: kayakers, walking paths, these really interesting camping areas with fishing cabins all along the river, some places where you could even pull your boat up and there were steps over there. It was an amazing look into the people. And an hour and a half later, on this really cool trip, we pulled into Devin. Devin is a borough of Bratislava that sits in between Bratislava and Vienna on this river. It's got a little pub along the way that you can stop at after you get off the boat, and then you head along down this walking path to get to the real sights. And this castle is going to give you a lot of amazing things. The fact of the matter is that it is ruins, yes, because Napoleon's troops blew it up in 1809. Later on, the Nazis built this building here when they were in charge. They had some shows there and a restaurant and some aspirations of doing more with the area, but, then they lost World War II and that kind of never happened. The point is, these two rivers come together here, and back in the day, starting back in the 1200s, this was a very strategic military point. So a castle was erected up there, and over the years, as I've said before, the Slovaks were ruled by pretty much everybody under the sun. It was a Gothic structure up there, and over the years, it was Hungarian, Habsburgs, Ottomans, Soviets, Napoleon was there, Nazis. Everybody ruled this land. Then it was part of Czechoslovakia before actually becoming Slovakia in the early 1990s. So in 1961, this site became a national park. What is the history of this castle? Well, for just 8 euros, you can go inside and look all around. You will see displays in the museum. You will see all kinds of placards, and you will learn about this fantastic place. It was built by kings and royalty. It was inhabited until the siege of Pressburg, which is what in the early 1800s Bratislava was called, and Napoleon put a siege on this town to take it over, and there was a little resistance coming out of the castle. So once the siege was successful and Napoleon took power over the area, he had his troops go and blow it up. And what you're seeing here is a slightly fixed up version of what is left. It was an enormous property, many buildings, chapels, residences, dining halls, and whatever. And look at these views. I'd never seen anything like it. It was absolutely amazing. In the modern day, you can go up here for your €8 and wander around and look at the views and the ruins, and there is even a museum shop and a museum. There are many, many places to look, and that open area there, they even use for various events, concerts, and this kind of thing off and on throughout the year. It is a very, very important site to the Slovaks. I mean, it could be part of their history, just that it's always been there in the mind of the Slovaks. And in this modern era, you know, they finally have their national identity. And this castle, these ruins, is part of it. So it's a really important space for the Slovakian people. But I loved the views. I won't lie, I could have stayed up there all day long just looking out over the valley, the rivers, the little borough of Devin up there, which is where Devin Castle is. And like I said, it's actually technically part of Bratislava still. There's a bus 29 that goes out there, but I say if you can get on this river cruise for €25, just take the cruise. It's a really cool ride up the river. But look at this place. I don't know how big it is, but it is big. We were up there for a couple of hours, and we did not walk at all. There was a whole other side hanging over the Danube River on the other side on a lower section that we didn't even get to. We got to the rest of it. We didn't get to that. Of course, we had to catch a boat back. So there was a little time constraint with the boat that you probably don't get with the bus, but the boat ride is cool. I loved going up and down the river. So I say the river cruise is worth it. There's a building in town on the waterfront where you buy it for $25 or €25, and then you take your boat ride up the river here from Bratislava up to the castle. It's worth the €25. You can book it through, TripAdvisor and these guys, but they're going to charge you more. So just go to the building in town on the waterfront, buy the €25 tickets. And then you get this wonderful ride. It only took half an hour to get back to the beautiful city of Bratislava, one of my favorite cities so far traveling. So keep in mind, when in Bratislava, go there.